the chance and roll the dice. I want it all, just for the night. I live it out like I'll never die. I lose my head in the starry skies. Can't chain me down, I feel so alive. Back down, only one way out. I let you run my life. Now you won't get me down. Untamed, guess I lost my mind. You turn me inside out. No one can stop me now. So turn up the light. Turn up the light. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. 'Cause the time keeps turning, feels just like it speeds up. It's what I waited for. Close your eyes, seek paradise. Won't change your mind. Can't shake the light. I'll take the chance and roll the dice. Just wanna feel the stars surround. The atmosphere never to come down. I'll stand alone, whether right or wrong. It takes me home, right where I belong. Back down, only one way out. I let you run my life. Now you won't get me down. Untamed, guess I lost my mind. You turn me inside out. No one can stop me now. So turn up the light. Turn up the light. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. 'Cause the time keeps turning, feels just like it speeds up. Is what I waited for.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we just got a recent report about some things that we are now addressing per the staff situation. As you guys can clearly see, there is a little bit of confusion going on between some unfortunate bugs going on as of right now. So, we're going to have our staff take a look at the situation, and we will be right back. I hope this won't be taking too long, but we will find out exactly what is going on with each side and each team. So, be right back, folks.
We are the champions of the night. tell if we're dreaming now. We watch as the vibe falls down. One thing playing on our minds. Time stops and we don't make a sound. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night.
Well. Took us a little bit longer than the usual, but my name is Army Overlord, and welcome to the Bronze, Silver, and Gold Competitive Series, Saturday time and Saturday night, 7 p.m., and it's a little bit of that Rawr versus the Frosty Esports action. Both of these teams are in the competition of the top 5 right now. They need to squeeze themselves into a nice comfy position. Both Rawr and Frosty absolutely need a 2-0 to keep themselves really in a very comfortable spot, but a 1-1 couldn't hurt either side. What do you think about that, Rengar?
Well, I think both those statements are correct, but going to the pick and ban phase, a little confused by the Mordekaiser ban, but I kind of like it.
Kind of like it indeed. Does seem to be something that could possibly be a big factor in their chances to change the comp strategy against them.
Do you think it's a name bait, or do you think he actually plays Mordekaiser?
Name bait.
I think so too. I know Reflex Tigger has recently joined Rawr's side, so I wonder how he's going to be doing. I think this is his first actual game with them, besides a few practice games. So I'm interested to see what his champion pool looks like and how he's going to be performing on the team.
Yeah, I also hope it's going to be a tightly contested matchup, despite the ban force focusing that seems to be going on right now. They got rid of Not a Real Doctor support Taric, and we're getting rid of the top laners of both Mordekaiser and Gangplank against Mordekaiser. So, should I call him Murd? I think I should probably call him Murd, because every time I try to pronunciate his name, everybody says, Army, you're saying Mordekaiser when he's playing Gangplank. What are you doing? So I guess I call him Murd, apparently. And Anivia, by the way, is selected as the very first champion. Could be used top, could be used mid, who knows?
Yeah, Reflex Tigger is actually an Anivia one trick, at least was for a very long time. So it looks like he was playing top. He queued up his top. It's supposed to be an LCS order, so I'm interested to see if maybe they bungled the order or if he's going to play Anivia top lane. I can't really see him handing it over to Guayomi when he's literally a Kindred or Anivia one trick. Speaking of Kindred, they just walked in Kindred. Haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, and it is an interesting decision here. Good burst, good auto attack, solid power spiking, and good attack speed and range. Speaking of all of that, here's Tristana.
Yeah, Tristana pick, pretty hard to engage. I think if you time it right, it's kind of like the Blitzcrank hook with the Leona Q. If she times her rocket jump perfectly, she can actually escape the Leona pretty well.
Well, knowing Doki for the win, this is basically another step of the evolution of the TP Smite combo. It might be Tristana, and that is a completely viable possibility knowing his champ pool. He's willing to take anything into the jungle. Anything.
I don't think it'll be jungle, but with the TP Smite, might be running Unsealed Spellbook on Skarner, which I've seen quite a bit, even in the LCS, running TP Smite, and then at some points even trading out the Smite, so that's always possible.
Right, but Doki, of course, knowing him, he could take any direction at this point. I'm not kidding. He's gone Brand in competitive series, which has flopped. He's gone, I've watched him in other competitive series. He's gone Zac with this strategy. He's gone Sejuani with this strategy. He's even gone, I heard rumors that he's going to be trying Sion with this strategy coming up too. So I have no idea what exactly he's going to do. But it's definitely something to take a look at for sure, as Shaquin takes the Corki in the mid lane as the final option as we go into the next couple of bans.
Speaking of champion pools in the jungle, against a Kindred and a Corki, Jack's jungle is a very strong possibility. You can play in top, but I feel like tank/bruiser Jack's jungle is just the better option, and I could see him level 3 invading this Kindred repeatedly, especially since Kindred has to get her stacks that often appear in the enemy jungle. It could be very easy for an Azir and Jax to set up plays.
There are also times where some of those beginning marks start at the Scuttle Crab, which is commonly very easy for Kindreds to take. But it all depends on how fast the clear is, and for Doki's sake, I have no idea what he's going to go here. And if it's Tristana, well, you might as well just assume Kindred's just going to be a little bit ahead of the pace.
Kind of shocked not to see a Sejuani pick. You were talking about that earlier. And Sejuani just outscales Kindred really hard, even if she gets a lead early. Sejuani's just so tanky and does so much damage that it's really a good pick into anybody.
Mr. Convenience taking out the Vayne despite the nerf to the Q and the ultimate damage proccing. It's still very strong against tanks. Still, dealing its intended purpose into tanks, of course. And Mr. Convenience says, you know what? They're going to pick a tank at some point. Let's go ahead and take a Vayne. Oh, there it is. Nunu seems to be on the option. And it's confirmed. Well, that's it. It's Nunu. It's got to be Doki with Nunu. It's got to be.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And Alistar appears to be the next one on the follow-up to be Tristana ADC with the Alistar as the support. Does seem to be a good wombo combo setup that can kind of really collapse onto a single target really well. Or they can bring the target right over to Tristana with a Blitzcrank. Whichever they want to do. It looks like it is Blitzcrank. Got ahead of myself there.
I don't know. I think Alistar would have been a good pick. They already have a lot of damage into Tristana and Azir, and if they played it right, they could have a very tanky frontline. Blitzcrank isn't bad though either.
So I see 3 ranges, a melee frontlining engager, not a lot of peel, and another range champion, Vladimir. So they don't really have a good peeling strategy, but they do have a good kiting and escaping strategy. So Leona, when he does make this engage, it's still pretty much fine for Vayne, Corki, Kindred, and Vladimir because they all have their own abilities to avoid damage. So interesting strategy going in by Frosty Esports.
You know, going to that Blitzcrank was really risky, especially against a Leona, because if they pull that Leona in, it is very hard to pick. And that Blitzcrank got last pick. So you're facing not only one of the easiest champions to dodge Blitzcrank hooks with, a Vayne, you have your Q like every 3 seconds, but if you pull in that Leona, it's pretty much GG. Because Leona is always going to out-trade a Blitzcrank or a Tristana if they get pulled in with a Vayne. So I don't know if that was a wise decision, but definitely an interesting decision.
The other decision would have been an Alistar, according to what Oni-chan was sitting on earlier. Would Alistar have been the better option in this condition, in your opinion?
I think so, yeah, because at least you can rival the tankiness of the Leona. And if they do get picked out, he has his ultimate for the Vayne proc or whatever if she gets a good E in lane. Late game team fights, I kind of need a more peel. A Blitzcrank does more damage than tank up, really. He still gets tanky with his passive shield, but I think Alistar would have been a better pick, especially since they have the Azir and Tristana to to poke. I don't know why they would have gone a melee jungle if not to pick a Alistar.
So Doki here for, I believe, the first time using a Nunu live on camera. He's going to be using this with a Smite TP. You know, Nunu's gank potential in most common situations are on the lower side. Even if he does get the right angle, there's still a good chance you can avoid a Nunu. And most of those times when it is a good angle, it means bad positioning. And that is honestly the biggest question mark in Doki's entire kit strategy, because it's like, he has to play beyond perfect, and it's been a lot of times where that has not been the case.
Yeah, and when you pick Nunu, something that doesn't have that gank ability early, really, you look to invade a lot and just smother out the other jungler, but it's really hard to do when you're facing a Kindred just because her clears are so good, and she's constantly going to be counter-invading you because of her marks. So Nunu's going to have to really, really pay attention to the marks and either try and defend his own jungle, or hopefully not get caught out by invading.
Well, another thing that is honestly very important to this strategy here is the Wombo combo method of Azir and Nunu. They basically go hand in hand nowadays, and because of the fact that the AP ratio scaling that Azir gets, attack speed and movement speed all pour very beautifully into Azir's very strong kit, and you're not really wasting even a single W, as everybody on this entire team has an AP scaling ratio, even though Tristana, as we all know, is a attack damaging champion. Tristana does have the ability to get some AP from the E and from the ultimate, so that's actually just a little bit of everything goes right and comfortably into this Nunu.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Kind of sucks for the Nunu in terms of, like, this Nunu pick was just kind of all around, kind of like meh. But facing a Vayne, when it comes to late game team fights, if he does try to get an ulti, then not only can Leona shut it down with one of her stuns or her ult, or a number of her other abilities, but Vayne also has her E to knock out that Nunu's ultimate, get no damage down. So I wonder if, like I said, I don't really think they can win the early game ganking. In the late game team fights with the Nunu is going to be hard. He's really just being here for the objective game.
Vladimir, Kindred, Corki, Vayne, and Leona, they all have their way to go in, but they don't have their way to go out. If they commit to their engage, they have no retreat strategy, which means everything has to work right on the impact of the fight. Everything really has to come together really, really nicely, and almost every single maneuver has to go according to their plan if they use their engages, if they use their committed strategy.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. I definitely think the side of Frosty will take the early game, but they're going to have to play pretty much mechanically perfect, but I think it's going to be hard with the new pickups for Rawr, but it's definitely possible. Some upsets from them in the past, and I think it's definitely possible that they can pull up an offset here.
So we're looking at their summoners, and we're also looking at some of their runes as well. Nunu going with a obvious Doki trope, the spell book, into this situation, and Vladimir will also have his own spell book for his top laning situation. Vladimir basically, ever since the spell book has been introduced, has almost been a staple for him. He gets that ignite for that for that early pressure he can get, then switches to TP the moment he can get that chance to do so. And that's just been a staple for him for a long, long time now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the summoner spells here. I don't see really anything out of the ordinary or rune-wise.
Anivia going for the Comet here is an interesting one, considering I would say that you could go summon Aerie here because of how the ultimate works. Because you could essentially like get it in position, and you're basically, if the enemy gets on top of you, you can just put the pool on yourself. Your summon Aerie comes back quickly, and quickly you can just have like a bit of your own tick damage. So it's really good. But Comet is also a solid one too, because it makes it so you can hit these Qs, you can hit these Es, you can hit the follow-up. And that's honestly really good as well, but that doesn't proc nearly as quickly as summon Aerie. So what do you think about that, by the way?
I don't really play too much Anivia, so I don't know what meshes with their kit very well, but I'll take your word for it. I can see either working. I could see the Ahri working simply just for the E procs, because I know if you can just prop that E like every 3 seconds or something on Anivia, and I know that's from cancer. So I could see it working.
Okay. Well, let's see who will have the better strategy going into this. All or nothing versus let's wait and see what happens. Let's go. You know, that's the funny thing is, Rawr, you at this point, you might as well just call them, hey, let's wait and see what happens. Because that's essentially almost every comp they've ever made. And it's kind of weird that they've always never thought, hey, let's put all our chips in. No, their entire thing is wait, let's see what happens. Wait, let's see what happens. And that's exactly, I think, Doki's forte and motto here, honestly.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go for an invade here. Ooh, didn't see him in the bush. Reflex Digger. Going with him here.
So they're all...
Nunu making sure they're not getting counter-invaded as well.
Yep, every member of Rawr is currently spotted and noted that to be in that bush, but they don't have a way to get an instant lockdown, or any way to even get any type of CC on them. So, looks like Rawr's going to make that invade happen. They're walking a little bit in advance. What is Frosty's next plan here? What do you think?
I don't know. They have the man advantage. They can look for the fight, and that's what they're gonna do.
Yep. Real Doctor's plan. He's gonna go for the Q onto Blitzcrank, knowing he's got very little to no escapes here. Blitzcrank is completely on the run. He's just trying to avoid getting any of his people caught, and it will be him going down first for the first blood. No summoners used by either side on that one.
Nunu, you're gonna run into Vladimir as well.
So resource-wise, I think they just took advantage of Oni-chan there. Doki
That's
here
no bueno.
definitely wanted to get a good steal, and Murd completely threw him off of that plan.
Yeah, Nunu's gonna be really far behind. Thankfully doesn't actually need a leash, so he should be fine. But definitely sets him behind.
So, we have Frosty Esports here already with a kill lead advantage at this point. Everybody even got a little extra cash pool on the assist, so solid work there. But the real question here is, Vayne grabs a dagger for that. Attack speed still on Vayne, extremely important, even more so now thanks to those changes. With
the Leona, that's really good as well.
Was a dagger the
Just
right
for the
call
laning
there?
phase. For
Vayne.
Rawr, definitely not. For Frosty, it was definitely the right call to fight there.
Yeah, that strategy, definitely, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking about the invade?
Yeah,
or the backing?
Yeah, the backing with Mr. Convenience buying a dagger.
She missed a little bit of XP, but I think it'll be fine just because of the XP advantage they got on the jungler. I think it was probably the smartest thing to do since they have a kill lane, and the Leona will be really strong. So as long as they can hit level 2 or level 3 relatively close, they'll still win the 2v2.
Okay. Attack speed advantage, we'll have it over Tristana, and Tristana's Q, I think, doesn't really give that much attack speed. But anyway, it looks like a gank's about to happen right now. I don't think Azir's going to be able to get himself out of this one. He's trying to just squeeze us out of there, actually, in the nick of time. I thought he might have been caught, but he did keep his soldiers in check and used it as a good escape strategy.
Yeah, remained calm, didn't panic, didn't blow any summoner spells that he didn't have to. I don't necessarily agree with the Corki using his W there or E, whatever it is, the little rocket forward, just because he could have saved it for that right there, for when he inevitably Shurimal Shuffle.
He could have got at least one more proc off. I do agree with your assessment here. But anyway, it's going to be another catch strategy. Can he get out this time? He does do the shuffle again, but it looks like Solo is committed. He's going right for Doki here. He takes the flash jump. His auto attacks were not as potent as he thought it would be, and that backfires against him. Now, why do you think he took that risk? Why do you think Solo...
Well, he actually went for the right play. That was the right thing to do, but he just was barely out of auto attack range. Because if he would have got that third proc, not only would he have either killed Azir, but he would have gotten both summoner spells out of him. Because he had the 2 procs previously, so when he flashed Q there, he was going for the third proc on his W, I think it is. So if he gets 3, it does the third empowered auto attack. So that's why he went for it, which was the smart play to do. Just got unlucky with canceling the auto attack.
And Rost here certainly kicking himself about it, but he does have the farm lead as of right now. Nunu is about to force that to be a tie in a second, but it looks like, you know, Kindred at this point is ahead of Nunu, and I'm not too surprised about that considering Doki's strategy. He usually always seems to be a step behind when it comes to his clear pattern. I do not know why that's been a consistent pattern so far for him, but it just has been, and it's unlucky for his circumstances considering his strategy. Essentially, you need to be ahead of your opponent, and he's consistently been behind it.
Yeah, it kind of stinks for him just because his team got cut out bot lane. So then he was going to try and invade. Didn't get the invade. Was behind because of that. And now he's having to play catch up on all the counter invades.
So Kindred clears out the Raptor camp, is still stationed around the mid side despite Azir not being there. Invade sounds like a good strategy, I would say, for Kindred, but it looks like he'll be circling back.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to invade just in case the mark pops up on the other side. Just take his side, full clear his side, then look for a gank, and then he can either look for an invade or a gank.
Yeah, I guess it's all about getting as many souls as many of those stacks as it can. So you pretty much want to leave those up until you're sure that they're there.
I'm really shocked about the bot lane that the side of Frosty is not going in, even though they have the advantage. Went for a play there, but didn't hit. They should be looking for more of those since they have the lead. As soon as Tristana backs with the farm lead, she's gonna have that lead.
Reflex will be taking some free trade. Mordekaiser combos his ability, but takes a good chunk of his own health thanks to how the W works to get that trade on Anivia.
Yeah, and he's gonna be careful with Wing in like that because if he W's at the wrong time, she can easily stun him or wall him in.
Certainly wanted to pressure back Reflex, who has been a recent addition here. Anyway, Doki is about to run into some trouble here. Solo gay.
No vision of the bush, I guess. Couldn't actually auto-attack him there.
Funny, too. He used the Q because he thought he had the right position. Anyway, Not a Real Doctor does make that engage, and he does not have a way to commit onto it. BB's got out of that quick.
Yeah, there's that timing of the rocket jump that I was talking about. Pretty easy ability to hit, but when timed well by a player that knows what they're doing on the champion, they can pull plays like that.
Blitzcrank goes for the pull. It's connected. Now Solo's in a bad spot here. Ross has got to find a way out. He's completely wedged in, and it's Azir that capitalizes on that. And that will
Just trying to flash to KS that too. That's unfortunate.
And solid play by Azir on the alertness there. Wasn't afraid of Shaquin at all during that, and Shaquin nearly takes him out with that last Q. So what do you think Shaquin does? Oh, Shaquin kind of wants it. Rocket will go wide.
Needs to calm down, really aim those. He's close enough that he shouldn't be missing those.
He's going to make that engage, and Doki will get the free bite. Doki's kind of low, though. Leona's damage. The W comes on the second proc. Blitzcrank is now condemned to the wall. Bane will get out of there very fast. Shaquin is now in the area, but his health bar is about to drop real fast. Blitzcrank had him locked in while Azir showed up for the party. Mr. Convenience does somehow stretch that auto attack far enough to get the full proc onto BBs. But Shaquin now on the run has to make the flash. No mana for the W and gets out.
Very wonky trades all throughout. Neither team really synergizing well with each other to make these plays.
Yeah, they
could have easily been a triple for either team.
Both sides were just like, I kind of want to stop.
I wasn't sure if they wanted to fight or if they didn't. They'd go back in and run back out and go back in and then run back out.
Yeah.
Looks like Frosty got away with the advantage earlier from the Kindred, though.
BBs will have the farm lead after all of that as well, and the free wave to go with it. Honestly, solid job by BBs with his pressure so far. Vayne has way less range and way less of a way to make that engage if Leona doesn't make that happen. And you're starting to see exactly how that works for everybody so far. So far, Vladimir has zero control of his he has zero understanding of where Nunu is on the map. He could be in position at this point. He finally gets enough time to put that control ward down. So now he has control ward of the try, but that's about it. Looks like the vision game for Rawr seems to be going pretty well so far. They definitely have the control that they want. Azir here appears to be guiding himself over closer towards the Kindred, although not aware of it. The slow has landed, and it will be another escape shuffle out of there. This situation does seem to be pretty fine for Doki's strategy of just, hey, wait and see what happens, because so far Frosty Esports hasn't really been making any plays work, and their farming is now slowly beginning to lose on all fronts to their opponents at Rawr. And it's really, honestly, because of the fact that Tristana was able to capitalize on the fact that Mr. Convenience can't go for trades, can't make that engage, and is just going to be punished for every play he goes for, thanks to the Blitzcrank. Certainly might be Mr. Inconvenience's kryptonite as we see this match going further. Could be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Kindred will be engaging on that situation as Oni-chan makes the play. Mr. Convenience gets his attack increase as he gets a wedged Blitzcrank into the corner. Mr. Convenience will scooch his way out of there. No, he goes back in for the third proc.
Oh, Tristana, she can do it.
Will get taken out here and uses the ultimate to save the Leona and the Vayne at the same time. But here comes Azir. He barely touches, not a real doctor. The auto attacks come through, and Azir gets a kill for the trade.
They can keep fighting this.
They still don't want to, looks like.
I don't know why they're being so hesitant. Like that 2v3 they could easily turn around. Maybe being careful of the Kindred ult. But we got trades up top.
Yeah, the Kindred.
Reflex Sticker coming to save him.
Oh, he's holding on to that ultimate, and it looks like he will not have the catch that he set up there. Oh, looks like Rost is trying to go ahead and get right into taking a kill on that. Tristana gets the auto and gets the revive. He got all he needed out of that to stay just up and standing.
Very, very close. Vayne just got here, which would have been beneficial if they would have waited just a few more seconds, but it turns out they didn't actually need it because Kindred played that clean.
Kindred now has 2 kills and is now way ahead in the camp department from Doki. So another, hate to say it, but it's another repeat week for Doki. Seems to be always a step behind of the jungler every single week so far, and that's unfortunate.
They're going with these off-meta picks. Nothing isn't super off-meta, but just in like the team comps, maybe going for style points more than actually thinking it through.
Certainly, we can't convince him to not do it. We can only show him reasons to at least reconsider, but he definitely, at every point, doesn't seem to be worried. Oh, wow, that's a beautiful back animation by Anivia, by the way.
Very neat. Kindred hovering on that bot side again. Really looking to snowball that side, knowing that her Vayne is behind even after getting the early lead.
Shaquin, he's got the package ready. Does he go bot? Looks like they're looking at it, and I think Nunu just caught a whiff of him at the time. So he's moving into that position. Takes a jump over, and they're going to make that engage. Oni-chan isolated. He will be walled into a tough spot. Has to go over the extremely heavy damage field. And Doki's going to come in with his own TP into the play. He will get punished for it with a quick kill, but here comes the cavalry. The Shuriman shuffle works out so well that it leads him to a triple.
It's
a double kill, actually, as Tristana secures the other one for the 2-4 into the advantage of Rawr.
Wyoming is playing out of his mind right now, just making the rotations, perfectly counter-ganking, perfectly playing his champion. Shurima shuffles all on point. Great two-man ultimate there. Pretty much single-handedly saved that team fight. Nunu got a lot of damage there, unfortunately. Passed away during that fight, but saved by the Azir, and now they may even get first tower.
Looks like that is the case here. The tower is taking quite a bit of damage from that, and it does seem like they will not be able to make any difference in this. By the time that happens, it will be Frosty losing their tower first.
Yep. Just well played. Looked like that first the dive wasn't working wonderfully. Maybe didn't see the TP or just got too aggressive with it. The double TP is really strong on top of Azir's roaming being really nice. So I still think it was a calculated risk, just not calculated enough.
5-manning on this situation. They take the Drake cleanly, and I gotta be honest with you. I feel like there's just no way to understand what they were doing at that time, and they lose another Drake for that. And I honestly think they've got to have some more vision. Frosty is kind of letting him get freebies. Doki gets caught in the jungle as they catch him on the rotation. Doki's got no chance to get away. He gets taken out really cleanly. Nice job by Frosty.
Looks like Shaquin is finally starting to land some of his ultimates too, realizing that he has time. He's not going to stream a shuffle every single one. So landing his ultis. Nivea trying to get the blue. Invaded by Solar Rost. Interesting.
Yep, and Solar Rost has the smite advantage. No, actually does not. As you can see on the top right over there, doesn't have a smite. So Anivia might have just secured that. We'll find out in one quick second here. It is Anivia that did secure it. Solid job
Now-
by Nivea on that wall off.
Do you give Anivia the blue, or do you give the Fed Azir the blue?
I think you need to have the blue, because as you just saw, Solo Rost was going to steal that, and you just needed to make sure that he didn't have that. So that's all that matters for that chance. But, I mean, Nivea, of all the champions you want to make to have a blue, that is one of them.
Yeah.
Never have any
That's
mana
true.
problems at that point.
I think she could have even gone for the kill there, because Vladimir wasn't roaming down. And if they were going to give it to the Azir, all she had to do, because all of her abilities are AoE, except her E, she could have easily just trapped her in the jungle and waited for the Azir back up. But not saying it's a terrible decision to take the blue, just not something I would have done.
Every objective so far Rawr has gotten the control of, and their lanes are winning. So despite the fact that we have a 0-3 and 4 Nunu, he has been able to take control of objective after objective after objective. That's the Nunu special for you. Anivia sieging the top tower at the time while everybody is on a 4-man mid. Remember, their strategy, Frosty's strategy, is everybody's in, and we have to make this count because we have no other way to stop it.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have actually just lane swapped the bot lane to the top lane there, instead of shoving down mid. Not necessarily. Could have just continued to snowball their bot lane.
They're gonna make. Oh, what a great decision for the Wombo combo there. Combos that brilliantly. But it looks like not a real doctor ends up being the sacrificial lamb until Kindred goes for the save. That is enough to keep him alive. Mordekaiser gets walled off, and the CC lockdown. Mordekaiser won't be able to show up here. He's going to
just out of ulti range. No.
Meanwhile, Rost now engages without the knowledge of the top laner coming. The burst damage was so much, but it wasn't enough. Tristana somehow goes down, and Oni-chan will not commit either. Solo Rost, I can't believe he survived the crit burst.
That's a tilter. Little skirmishes all over the map. Unfortunate. That's where you hit him with the lag in all chat. Looks like they didn't end up trading top. Oh, well, psych, they're trading.
And it now forces the egg passive to go away, so Vladimir got it gone. We'll have his second.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's going to continue to try to pressure. That does not land on target. It was the only thing that hit Reflex Trigger there, and he at the cost of a lot of his health bar there. That's a little unfortunate for Murd.
Yeah, Nivea was winning the trades when she was taking them, so I'm a little confused on why she's not shaking them, but got his flash for her passive, and I think that's worth.
So, Corky,
Azir has ulti here.
Out of mana, could make a play, but he's once again visited by another Kindred. And Kindred simply walked right through and just left him be. By the way, what was the name of the person that was Azir? You pronounced it, I just couldn't. What was the
Guillaume? That's how I said it.
Guillaume?
Guillaume? Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Probably completely wrong, but that's how it looks like, so that's what I'm going with.
Reflex Trigger will take this with Oni-chan's assistance. This should be an easy tower grab. They're going to take it out right now while Mordekaiser is completely locked out of that situation.
They better get him.
Ooh, the Zanyas gives him enough time. He gets a second Q off. They're already backing off here, and it will be Reflex with the secured kill as Blitzcrank
Need to get out of there ASAP.
Vayne is coming up to try to catch the Nunu who is on his way. They have
Nunu
once
won!
again. Oh, he barely, not a real doctor, misses the E. That would have been the confirmed kill, and it is another one of those situations. You gotta thank goodness for
Yeah, kind of crazy that they didn't get that. Had one man sitting on the other side of the blast cone, had two people running that way, and had Corky in the top lane. They didn't get him.
They just didn't get
Maybe
him.
just playing it safe rather than getting collapsed.
Right. Looks like we have another summoner switch by Murd. He's switching to the Ghost here, foregoing the TP to this. And honestly, I can see why he wants to do that. He thinks he might have the damage he's looking for to take out Anivia, and the Ghost will help him get that lockdown he's looking for.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
I mean, the gap closing he's looking for, not the lockdown. He doesn't have a lockdown move. he only has a way to get faster. That's all he has.
Very true. Yeah, trying to look at the build pass if there's anything crazy here. We're just trying to went for the IE rather than the static shift first. I'm a fan of that. I like it. I think it gives you better damage early. Maybe it hasn't worked yet, but as soon as she gets that static shift completed, she'll definitely have the advantage. Tied with farm with the Vayne right now. the only person really far behind farm-wise is just the jungle, which is kind of strange because Nunu has some of the best playing in the game too. But like I said, having to keep up with the Kindred ganks, constant counter ganks. Oh, Baron Rush!
And they know that there's no vision in this area. They're going to try to get this Baron before anyone even realizes it. Nobody is even aware of this play. They don't even know where they would be at all, and they're sacrificing only an
They
ocean
shred it
for
too.
And easy shred by that team.
I like that. That was gutsy, but that was good. And now they're going to be able to collapse mid lane too.
I think that might be a record right there as the fastest Baron take. I think that might be the fastest one right there. I don't know for sure if there was a faster one than that, but that is about as fast as you're going to get, considering you had a Mountain Drake and an Infernal Drake. Unless you get 2 Mountain Drakes, I don't think you're going to get any faster at the 20-minute mark. Oh, barely timed that ability and survives it. Their range poke is coming through. Rawr is taking a lot of punishment, and it's going to be a lockdown onto that Azir. He barely escapes with another shuffle out. Mr. Convenience taking massive tower damage, and that will be the fight. The 1-for-1 trade as Kindred somehow in that went down.
Yeah, they didn't have to fight that. They just had to pressure mid. Because they had Anivia pushing top. She's going to get that tower regardless. But didn't actually have to fight there. They should still technically stay and let Anivia split push. Since they're not rotating up, they could have sieged that mid-tier too.
I have to say some very big question marks right now for Vladimir. He was in the bot lane position. The wave was already in that spot. So why is he backing? I know he moved towards that bush. If he committed towards that movement, he could have taken that tower. But he stopped and went for the back.
I think it was because he was going to look for the trade mid lane and then realized that there was an Azir tower there, so stopped. And by that time, it was too late to run back bot lane and too late to commit to that because of the Azir tower. So it ended up just being in a very awkward position.
Yeah, that really is because perhaps that switch to his Ghost had backfired on him, and now he switches back to a TP. And that honestly, Murd, really a lot of confusion marks there. And one of the big things is when a decision is made, you've got to be there or you've got to take a tower.
Yeah.
Cannot have that in between, and that's exactly what ended up happening to him. Doki here is going to get engaged on. Big engages on all sides. Doki going for the ultimate, and it's going to be big save by Rost with the ultimate of his own. Vladimir takes out 2 members. He's looking for the Azir, and it will be Azir escaping from the blast cone. Mr. Convenience is not done with him yet, but the burst damage by Azir somehow takes him out. Mordekaiser goes down.
So good.
Azir somehow still alive. He eats the biscuit.
He's so good.
And it's going to be BB's trying to prevent the penta for Azir, and it will be confirmed. BB's cancels out the penta opportunity for this Azir.
Yeah, literally, I think they could have gotten the penta. It's just a 1v5 penta right there. A little greedy from BB Easy. I know I'd be flaming him in all chat, but let's go. This guy is so practiced on Azir, possibly the best Azir we've played, especially when his team was behind early, still coming back and making plays and doing well. This is a Jin Daddy level performance from the Azir.
Well, I mean, Jin Daddy-esque, I would say. I mean, we could even say Omen would do pretty solidly here, even Kid of Fire. Heck, I could even say another mid laner as well and just keep this train going. But I only know 2 of them at the time of this specific moment of action, so I'll just shut up now.
Again, they're trying to seize mid lane here. Don't really have to. They have the Baron buff. They can just pressure side lanes.
He's going to go for this incredible gank. He's going to try to lull him off. He's got the wall. And it looks like he's about to run into this Azir. The burst damage has come through, and the shutdown is clear. Doki will be wedged in, and Oni-chan goes burst as well. 3 members on the trade back here, and Rawr, they just didn't get out of there in time.
Yeah, didn't have the Tristana, didn't have the Anivia with them. Don't know why they were that pushed up or why they tried to fight that.
And the only one to stop Shaquin from having that opportunity was 1 member, and I think, if I recall, it was Oni-chan that was there. And if it wasn't Oni, I think it was Doki, and either side just couldn't seem to stop Shaquin from the lock-off. From that straight line of CC he placed, and there was just no way to get out from that point. And honestly, I think that is just a big misplay at the end.
That was aggressive.
Wanted it. Forced a jump out. So that want came through nicely. Frosty Esports here, they certainly are very good on those objective taking as a team. They got all the mid towers, but there's a bot tower that's still damaged, and there's a top tower that hasn't been hurt enough to warrant any type of indication. So it kind of brings up a question mark here. Why are they still focusing on taking this objective in the mid lane and not trying to, like...
Well, they have to be careful here, because if they start pressuring the sidelines like this, they are getting caught out with 4 bots, so it's just a free push mid for them. That's exactly what they were watching for, but it was just too late.
And then they kind of gave it up. They gave up the vision of that, and that's a free inhibitor for Rawr that they just had took advantage of.
Yeah, they had the right idea. They played it smart. Whoever's shot calling for them definitely knew what they were talking about, but I'm going to guess someone's like, oh, wait a minute, we didn't get bot tower. They started to rotate and got caught out.
And they almost didn't even see it coming. No wards in the lane when they were doing that splush off here. And I gotta be honest, if you're not a real doctor, you gotta wonder, hey man, why didn't you put a ward in the middle of the lane? We would have saw this play coming before.
Yeah, very true. That's just a common thing to do.
Yep. Anyway, Corky goes ahead and takes out the free Tristana, who was completely unexpecting that play until it was over. I didn't even get a chance to talk about it honestly until it happened.
Yeah, we definitely have a game on our hands. Great team play by both teams. I don't know if it's so good it's bad, or if it's so bad it's good. But either way, I'm being entertained. I'm sure the fans are being entertained. I guarantee you're being entertained. I hope the game continues on this trend. They have to start watching out, because they're starting to pressure the side lanes. Can't really push mid, because they got the inhib on the side of Rawr. But Frosty can definitely start pressuring the side lanes now.
Doki going for the ultimate for the force clear, and the minions walked into it, so all of those minions Mordekaiser had prepped for him are all gone now. Great ultimate by Doki to force this off, but Mordekaiser certainly not happy about that. Does get the crit burst on the Q to take out Doki. Darn.
Very disrespectful to continuously walk up there and just take the harass. Thinking he was tankier than he was, I guess.
Well, I'm not too surprised about that. Doki here is foregoing his rot portal strategy by going with a frozen heart strategy. Knowing he did not have any magic resist is a pretty big question mark as well. And also he has decided to go the minion demonetizer, demonetization. That's all I can think.
Very lucky he wasn't caught out a few seconds later, because that could have easily been Baron for the side of Frosty.
And it looks like he'll be going for a support item next, so Doki not taking his traditional strategy anymore. He's no longer the rot portal master of jungle. He is now going to be a support?
Yeah, not the worst thing when you have a Tristana on his ear. Still probably should have bought some MR though.
Yeah, that's a heavy amount of their damage from Vladimir is the case. Corky does a split, and I think Kindred just a little bit, I think, from the Shiv. So I think it would warrant at least a little bit of magic resist of some kind. So that W just took a ton of his health bar right there, as you just saw. That is a big, interesting point.
That is aggressive.
Hey, like I said, if they're all in, and if they're all in, they have no way out, and that's exactly what we just saw. He put every chip in, saying we're gonna make this catch here, and I didn't see anybody else.
Yeah, well, just a few seconds ahead of the rest of his team, and now what could have easily been a collapse for Frosty now looks like could be a game for Rawr. They have minions pushing in mid, Baron's up. They can push to the top. If they get a good team fight, they can end the game. Or they could just go for the Baron play. They don't really need a lot of people, so it looks like they're going to have 3 top and 2 at Baron. They just need to stay. Make sure that they don't know they're doing Baron, so they can't send someone back there to deal with it. Looks like Vladimir is dealing with the minions, and they're going to go ahead and secure the Baron. Now they can push top with the Baron buff.
And it was a free one, too, and they looked like they were about to get the tower, but not a real doctor sacrificing him. No, he will save himself, actually.
Oh!
It will be Vladimir in a tough spot. He somehow survives that, and somehow every other member survives the pool wall, and Reflex Digger will live as well. Wait a minute, BB's bomb takes out Bane!
He walked out of it! He saw he had it! He walked out of it!
Unlucky, unfortunate. Unfortunate. He's trying to get the Wombo combo to set up here, and it will not work out the way he wants. Meanwhile, the tower here by the Nexus was getting besieged by a big siege minion. As this fight is continuing, Tristana will get bursted by Shaquin, and the towers have been gone for a while, but that one at Nexus is still standing, barely, as 2 inhibitors go down.
What are you doing?
Not a real doctor, really wants to make that catch, really wants to make that play.
Why are they staying?
And
finally,
they're gone.
just get some vision on the outside of the jungle, on the way out of the jungle. But they don't even do that. A little unfortunate. When you're that pushed up, you have the perfect opportunity to get the vision of the enemy jungle, so you can see if they're trying to make any counter plays or any cheesy plays. Definitely should have done that there, but just decided to back, spend their gold.
Scorch Earth strategy by Doki here. He's trying to bird off all camps to prevent any way of their team stealing or having any way to get a good comeback from any type of emergency resources. They're going to leave the Gromp, though, which is a bit of an interesting point. I thought he would have at least tried to burn the entire way, but I guess he just wanted the blue buff in the wolf camp.
Well, probably had gold to spend, too. Doesn't want to get caught out with the team being able to push and him not able to, just for simply he has to back and spend the gold.
Yeah, and I guess there wasn't enough wards in the 2 control wards that Blitzcrank had to at least get vision of when the enemy was going to show up. But hey, you know, it's the minor decisions that could lead to the maximization of decreasing the values of certain things. We got another pause for you folks.
0 days without a pause.
Another pause! Hooray! Well,
let's take a look at the champions real quick.
Yeah, let's a money mount as well.
First game for Reflex Tigger, 1-0-5. If he can keep that 0 deaths with the new rule, he can technically be on the top list of the KDA, because we know that our stats keeper has recently changed it to where you have to have participated in at least 5 kills to have a perfect KDA. If Tigger can get away with this on his first time with the team, in his first duo esports game, facing a top laner that I think is the captain for the team, I think that's going to be amazing. That is like MVP performance right there on the fact that he's playing an off-meta top laner against a team that's been together for a while, that isn't bad either. They're both middle of the standing. And Doki's team is going for a risk with some of the picks that they brought in, like Reflex Tigger. So I think this is going to be amazing if they actually pull out the victory here.
They have a good chance for that victory as well, and I do like Reflex Tigger. He's a good guy. I did really enjoy his company on the Gathering of Warriors, but he's got quite a person to supersede here, because Azir's, although the one death has happened, he's honestly looking a little bit more of an impressive show, especially considering
definitely more of an impressive show. But you got to remember, he's been with the team for a while. This isn't his first time round.
I don't know.
Got to take in circumstances.
I don't know. I mean, I will add some bonus points to that, but an 8-1 and 3 still looks pretty solid. That's all.
Plus, he pretty much had an unofficial penta too. Pretty much a 1v5 play. Wyoming. That's it.
Oh, weep speak. It never gets easier. Oh, Blitzcrank goes for the long-range 3-point, misses it, but it looks like Leona's not going to miss it. Here's going to be a massive turnaround here. They're going to throw in all their resources in.
No,
Gets with the wall up. He's got Tristana in the corner. Gets the burst damage, and Reflex Tigger takes the kill on the way out.
Yeah, they got combo womboed there hard, and right when they thought they could turn it around, Kindred ulti saved them all.
And that is a big 4-man turnaround, as it is a big, and I mean huge, Frosty Esports turning point. This could
save the game for him.
Yeah, this could give them not only more time, very precious for the Vayne, of course, but this could also be a big point where they could have another chance at a Baron secure. While the Drake will be coming up pretty soon, this will be the final Drake before Elder. Reflex definitely had the right instincts there. He just kind of felt the situation, played very far back, and he got the wall up in a good position too. They just almost knew they couldn't even catch him at that point, and then Reflex Tigger will end up being the only member that hasn't died yet.
Get out of there, though. Yeah, he doesn't really need to be in the front lines. Smart. Some might say he made it his team there. I don't think so. I think he was just playing smart there.
Vision now being replaced here. Oh, wait.
Baron?
Okay, that mark is on the Drake, but as you can see on the mini-map, that doesn't look like that's where the Drake is.
Yeah, it's a weird Kindred glitch. It's always off to the side, whether it's in Baron Pit, because Baron and Drakes can both be her marks.
Oh, I think I know.
It always goes off to the side.
Yeah, I think I know why. It's because they want to allow the audience to know what Drake that is.
Yeah.
And the mark would get in the way, and I can understand that a lot better now, considering there's like no other camp it could have been.
That's nice to think of, but I doubt Rito was thinking that far ahead.
So he doesn't.
Probably just got some lazy coding.
So Doki doesn't early rush the Rawr portal. He gets it as his fourth item there. But anyway, he gets immediately obliterated as the next fight's coming in. Blitzcrank goes down immediately, and it's another wall off by the two champions that can have their own walls. They got the wall off here. This is going to buy some more time as Frosty Esports has battled back, and took advantage of the positioning their opponents are at. And you can see they don't want to fight that. And they've been caught multiple times when they don't want to fight. And that is something they need to start realizing right now. Their opponents, they're willing to throw every chip in there. And that's what you have to do back at them if you want to win.
Well, I don't think Rawr noticed that their jungle isn't tanky. They keep throwing him in the front lines and then letting him tank, like, everything? And so then they're just fighting a 4v5 the entire time. But he just keeps walking up, hardly any tank items, especially for the MR that they need. Granted, they do have pretty much 3 ADCs, but it's the Vlad who's initiating the fight and checking everybody to, if not half, a quarter HP every single initiation while they throw up the what's the champion's name? Nunu!
Reflex is about to run into Mr. Convenience. He does have the wall advantage to prevent Vayne from the gap close. There's no flash, so Reflex will be fine. So he's got nothing to worry about here.
That's some damage right there.
Yep, and that's some potent damage. Good old health percentage damage by Mr. Convenience isn't even coming up yet. So, interesting how that will go from here. You know, this kind of change to Vayne, I really wish happened way back in Season 5 or 4, where she was basically still that 80 carry that everybody just was basically spamming because of the fact that the tank meta and all that other stuff. This change, I think, is exactly what needed to happen to Vayne, but many seasons ago, personally.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they because of how the runes work, they were looking at it like, I don't know if we should actually change Vayne, because we're not exactly sure what's wrong with her in the first place, so...
I'm kind of a pleb, so I haven't played too many seasons back, but I just know this Vayne, and I don't like this Vayne. Too good.
Anyway, Baron will be secure. No, actually will not be secure. They decided to forego it. While the Kindred does confirm it, it is Mordekaiser that ends up being the betrayer of the group with the Zanyas at that time. And it looks like Kindred's going to try to grab a couple kills for the road. Solo is going to take out good old Reflex, as he's got no help at the time. And Mr. Convenience takes a kill for the road as well. That's 4 members. While Doki going for a suicide plan as he's attempting to throw everything into trying to get this inhibitor.
And it didn't work. Kind of unfortunate because Jasana had an item lead on the Vayne too, but that Vayne is playing it so well.
Mr. Convenience is almost within passive range. Doki trying to hide inside the bush. He's going for the TP, and that might be all that he needs to get out of there. And just in the nick of time, he gets out. So
the team question mark being wondering if the TP was worth it.
That can
Personally,
happen.
I don't think so.
Oh. Well, that can happen when you're off cooldown on the blue trinket, and that just happened right there. Actually,
yeah.
Is that a yellow trinket? No, it's Farsight Totem. That's the right one. That's
yeah.
The blue trinket. Okay, I was just a little curious. The yellow one, the blue one, kind of look a little similar when it's gray screen. And I would know.
TP could have been used like... Oh. Alright, go ahead. My bad.
No, I don't know. I don't know. We started doing that all of a sudden. We were doing really good, and then...
Oh my god, as I do it again. I'm sorry. You screwed it out. I'm done. I'm done.
Go on. No, go. I'm done.
Alright. I was going to say, they should have probably waited for the TP to come up on Anivia. Granted, the timings are pretty similar now, but they could have had that double TP advantage. Just started pressuring a side lane, and with Baron going to be up in not too long, that Baron could easily decide the game. Oh, actually, they should Baron to Psych. Never mind. Could have already decided the game, but they could have started pressuring side lanes and then use that TP as actually an offensive thing rather than trying to save his life. Because he's not worth that much gold right now that it was a big deal that she got the shutdown.
So Doki, by the way, to change topic slightly, Doki playing the checkers against the chest opponents right now certainly has got his battle strategy intact. Because he likes the Rawr portal and he still has it. Oni-chan going for the play. He goes for a premature pull and that will not connect after the flash. It's going to be a full commitment by Murd. He's going for the big play. Zanya's to avoid the big wombo. Oh, not a real doctor. Gets destroyed as well. The burst damage by Vayne has come through finally. The GA has been procced, but somehow Rost, it was still alive in all of that. All the members go down again. Reflex Tigger's the only member that can stop the game now. Can he do
It's all
anything
ogre
about
now.
it? Reflex, going for the Zanyas. He needs to buy every second he can. He does not have the passive up, and Frosty might have just won the match here.
Yeah, that should be game. Have the minions. That's unfortunate. That's a tilter. So far ahead at one point in the game. Just constant team fighting. One team fights, three team fights, both teams playing their heart out. And it looks like Frosty Esports is going to come out with the W.
Rawr they gave a little bit, they gave a little bit, they gave a little bit, and they gave, and they gave, and they gave, and that's all they needed. They just needed to take a little bit, just keep this all in, all in, all in, and in poker, when that happens, you know the tables are really turning against you, because sometimes you have that better hand, and sometimes you just take the pot, and that's exactly what we just saw just now. A little bit of that greed, a little bit of that extra catch, a little bit of that extra. And that's all it took for them to take this victory here. Big question, I think, has to be here is Doki's decision to do the minion dematerializer, because his lane splitting came down to him using an ultimate anyway. So I don't understand what his decision was to do the minion dematerializer there.
Yeah, don't know. Maybe looking for more mid lane plays, but the Azir was pretty much already ahead, so he couldn't really do that. But
well,
didn't even
that's going to be another record in this one to take into consideration. Oni-chan having a pretty unfortunate performance, did pretty good on other situations, but ended up being almost the sacrificial lamb every step of the way consistently in this matchup, and that is just unlucky. Because their team was, we're throwing everything in there. We're going to go everything we got, put it all in. And Oni-chan just could not seem to stay alive long enough to make it work out. Let's take a look at the damage charts real quick. 30s. We're looking at 30s right now for everyone on Frosty Esports for the carries, except for Vayne, which I'm not surprised. Vayne basically was outranged, outmaneuvered, and outpositioned a lot of those times. Azir kind of made a lot of short work of him.
Yeah, the little damage she did get in it was really important and very clutch in the late team fights. So even though she didn't have that much, don't let that fool you, because she was very influential in those late game fights.
Yeah. We're looking at Azir's damage, highest one in the match as well, 34,000 damage, really good numbers, honestly getting close to that minute per damage average that everybody really loves in League of Legends. But couldn't seem to get what he was looking for there, and unfortunately the Anivia had the capability for a little bit of a delay, but just didn't have the cooldowns ready, didn't have the play ready, and just couldn't keep alive long enough to keep the dream alive. So, good victory by Frosty Esports, and honestly, fantastic betting by Frosty Esports. They just won with good hands. That's all it is. Damage really came through. Vayne's damage was also pretty solid in that. For the turret damage, solid work. Self-mitigated damages seems to be by Doki. Quite obviously, he took a ton of damage. And the damage that he did take really makes me wonder how many times he was in that front line and how many times he really got hurt at the front line when that happened. Because, as we know, Nunu is a front liner and can be, but if you don't have that coordination, seems like a little bit on the weaker side of those traits.
Yeah. He didn't really have damage. Pretty much only had wave clear with his ulti. Kind of unfortunate. Wasn't super tanky, even though he kept throwing himself in the front, which what a Nunu should be doing. But when you're that squishy, there's just not a lot you can do besides get one shot.
Last statistic we talk about here, of course, is my favorite one. The vision score and the wards placed. Leona had 76 on the wards placed. Way many wards, I have to say, compared to everybody else. He definitely did above and beyond for the ward placement this time. He wanted to make sure every single person could see what was going on the map at every single location. He even to the point where he kind of cut out his own ward total to do so.
Yeah.
Finally, very last thing, I promise you. We have the wards destroyed by Kindred, 13 and 15 wards destroyed by the mid-laning Azir. Certainly caught a lot of them. I think the reason for that is because of the fact that he had the domination feat that allows him to have the zombie wards, I think was the reason that he was be the main focus to take out those wards. But that'll just about do it here, folks. We will see you in Game 2 time. So let's go ahead and get to that time of the day with the victory for Frosty. Let's see what their Game 2 strategy is going to be as the all-in managed to outmaneuver and outmuscle Rawr when in count. Be right back, guys. We'll be back momentarily.
Welcome back to Game 2 of the Rawr versus Frosty matchup. I'm your boy, Rengar. Joined with me today is your favorite caster, streamer, and caster leader overlord. Army overlord.
Caster leader is right.
First ban! The Anivia coming through. Not surprised. Great performance by Reflex Sticker on that champion. One of his mains.
I love the Duo Rebellion. I know it's a little off topic here, and I'm only talking about the Discord in particular, but I love the Duo Rebellion. That is a beautiful name. I absolutely love it. Anyway, same bans, actually different bans this time with the Tigers, Anivia being gone.
Yeah, scared of this game. Wonder who's gonna pull out.
Honestly, the way that the game was going, Reflex Tigger definitely played it really efficiently. So I see the ban reason, considering how Anivia could really get a good control of the map and pressure. So that was honestly a really solid play to get rid of that ban. But
yeah, I'm expecting a Vlad ban here. Did a surprising amount of damage, was extremely tanky, was literally every engage. So I'll expect that either this ban or the next. I'd be surprised if it wasn't this one though. Yep, there it is.
There it is. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
We're not seeing the Mordekaiser ban, so we'll see if it's a name bait or if he actually locks it in after this round finishes. Zach ban. I know that Doki likes to play that champion, especially with the Smite. Not Smite Ignite, but Smite TP. I'm not expecting to see the Nunu again. It's kind of a rough performance. Didn't look exactly comfortable on the champion. Didn't do terrible. Well, that's up for debate. But these are your bans coming through.
Yeah, up for debate. Everything's up for debate at this point. You can even say that you're up for debate.
Same.
Wait a minute. What do you mean I'm up for debate?
I'm just saying, like, you could debate on how thick you are, dude. You're one thick boy.
Ooh, I'm a pretty thick boy.
Alright, we got a Gallia locking coming through.
Yes,
you guys send me mid lane or top?
That's a tough call. There's been a lot of question marks with his kit and his style. It's like, this guy's got tank abilities.
Yeah.
But he's kind of a bruiser.
I bet it's top. I bet it's top. I know Reflex Sticker. I played quite a few games with him. And he does like a good Gallia.
Doki here gonna
the Scion jungle! Not like this!
Taking the Scion jungle. It's been confirmed here, folks. He's going for it.
He is not all talk.
I hate the fact that I said, hey, listen, Scion very rarely played. Nobody ever plays it. And let me tell you why. 0% win rate so far on Scion. And nobody has figured out a way to win with this guy. And Doki here trying to break the mold. And I don't think he's.
Do you think Frosty knows it's jungle? Do you think they're listening to the stream and know it's jungle? Or do you think they're going to start planning around a top lane counter pick for it?
I think they're listening to the stream. I'm just saying. Doki, we did talk about it, and he actually did do it. So if Frosty's not doing it, I'd be surprised. They're allowed that privilege, of course. But it's up to the players to just choose what they want to take. And Corki is going to be resecured by Shaquin.
That's not the 0-1 trick on the side of
Indeed.
Rawr.
Sale has came back.
Alright, well I don't know his champion pool too much, so it might be Scion mid. No, it'll be Talon mid.
Yeah.
But,
well, that just about sorts that one. I have seen Talon in the top lane, though. That's a possibility. Yeah? I don't think that Reflex...
I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I say that is not because it's not plausible, but because Sale has already played Talon in the league before in last week's series, and he popped off that game. They had like a Fiora, a Talon. That's pretty much all I can remember, but I just remember them popping off, so... They really banned the Nunu?
I think they must be thinking Oni-chan's the support. I think that's what it's gonna be. I think that they're still under the impression, and then if this is the case, then they're not paying attention. But
yeah, they weren't paying attention to the stream. They do think it's not support. Unlucky.
Alright, well, Twitch has been banned as well, so they do not want to deal with another Nunu because of how much objective control here is. Sion's kind of the opposite of Nunu. He doesn't have very strong objective control, but he's very good at taking camps. He's very fast at that. He's also very good at making his ganks work. He's honestly extremely great at CC lockdown. Better than most tanks are when it comes to if he can get a 5-man knockup. It is basically the biggest threat to be concerned about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And it appears to be an error that has just happened.
A disconnect from Rawr's side.
Yep, might be an accidental pick. We'll ask for that question. They are already hitting some question marks right now. Let's see what the answer is at this point. Oh, it just seems to be a DC isn't a mistaken champion, so that is fine. We'll tell them same picks and same bans and get ourselves right back into this.
Should I mute my mic?
We're looking at the situation where I hope for Reflex's sake they fix their situation immediately and we can get right back into it. Yes, go ahead, please. Be my guest. This league has just frozen up. Oh, I see. Okay, well, that's again one of those lag occurrences. I'm glad it didn't happen during the game. Pauses are always not very fun. And it looks like he's back. How is your headphones good to go?
Mine? Oh,
Yeah.
I was just muting because I wasn't sure if we were supposed to talk to that or not, but
Oh,
due to your talking, I think we are. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be a delayed client issue or if it was just going to be a quick DC, and it, like you said, it is a quick DC, so it should be a quick fix.
Okay. Well, at this time here, I think we should just take a moment, relax a little bit, see when we can get this started. Looks like it should be pretty much right now, actually. Okay. Same bands, same picks, no errors by either side, so that's actually pretty good. That will allow both sides to basically go into their picks of option, and they don't have to make any changes or differences. So, same picks and same bands, as they know.
Yeah, very interested what Frosty are thinking. Again, okay, so this is what I talked about last game with Doki. In terms of wanting to play the off-meta stuff just to be that guy. I wonder if they've actually practiced the Sion jungle with the team comp, but if he's just trying to be like fancy, you know what I mean? Like just trying to have fun with the league, which I'm not opposed to, like just taking the league for fun. But when you're already in a good position, I don't know why you'd risk it with picks like Nunu into that team comp, and then this comp Sion.
And Sion here is a bit of a very important play style for Doki because there's a lot of options that he could be going for here. Could be going for a W max, could be going for an E max. A lot of junglers prefer to go with an E max because of the fact that the extra slow is extremely vital to how a gank and how the follow up on the Q can really turn a difficult gank into a easy gank.
Yeah, I know Sion's been a bit of a lane bully too when he's played top lane, simply for the fact that he can run Arcane Comment or Ari and just spam his E in lane. So I wonder if he's going to do something similar.
I'm only going to say that that's not my style of play. And as I showed earlier in the Discord, I had over 7,500,000 points. So I'm almost close to that million mark. And I'm hoping by the end of this season, I'll have the million. But the fact that that's going to happen, very unlikely.
I believe in you, Army.
All right.
You can do anything you put your mind to. You just got to believe.
If I was Doki right now, I don't know if he's in the chat. If I was Doki, I'd say max your W here. Because the playstyle, what you normally do is you're frontlining and you just like to get caught and everything. Max your W. It's going to really help you out a lot. Don't worry about making the ganks work because your style of play, you would want to just be able to be a bullet sponge. So get that W, make it as big as possible, survive, and you'll be able to thrive in the strategy that you did previously. But as I mentioned, Sion is not an objective taker compared to Nunu. Like, they are almost on the other side of the ballpark. So he really has to make some of the ganks, he's got to make it effective and efficient. Which I think at this point they probably just realized Sion is still a bit of a mystery for Frosty Esports. I think they're still kind of like, he might still be, you know, he could still possibly be a support.
Yeah, they're flirting with the idea. Unfortunately, because they had already banned the Nunu, even if they realize that now, they're still going to have to throw that up there.
Okay, finally we're back to where we are. BBs has the choice to pick a support or has the choice to pick of an ADC. Let's see what BBs is going to show us right here. Going for the Sivir, as it appears that they're still pretty much hiding the fact that Sion is a supportive choice. Jinx has been selected. Very good on momentum. And honestly, that's exactly what Frosty Esports seems to want to capitalize. Momentum.
Yeah, I agree. Not a bad pick. Oh my gosh, English is hard. Not a bad pick. a little squishy on their team. Looks like they're going. Oh, well, that fixes the squishes
Looks
issue.
like Merd's going for the Urgot against this Galio top.
I like that.
So I think Urgot basically, in my opinion, I think beats Galio.
Yeah.
Under the impression that all he has to do is get right on top of him, and that will just about confirm it. I think they now realize Scion is actually going to be... Wait a second. They're going for the switch. It's actually Galio Jungle Scion top.
What?
Reflex
Troll?
playing the Scion option. He's taking
Wait.
Tigger to take Scion against Urgot.
There's no way.
Now I am one of the most maniest mains.
There
oh,
we go.
I switched back.
There we go. I was gonna say, there's no way. Like,
I want to point out, Galio Jungle has been used, and it's now Vel'Koz. They're trolling.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
They're trolling
You
at
have
this
to wait
point.
till they get in the game.
That's definitely trolling.
I know Reflex Tiger is actually a mid main, so I wouldn't be surprised if he kept the Vel'Koz, but I've seen him play so much Galio top in my life that I'm really shocked he's not going for Galio top.
It would be shocked as well, but the Scion does beat Urgot when it comes to his kit. So Urgot basically has to go into Scion's damage to make that work. Let's see if this is actually what they're going to go with. Galio has been confirmed to be
The top laner.
top laner, yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I know the guy too well. There's no way he would go that troll. Of course, he did take Anivia last time and it worked out, so you never know. Very exciting picks from him.
So I'm just saying here, Urgot basically beats Galio in my opinion here. I think,
In lane, yeah.
Yeah, in lane, and I think Urgot can just easily capitalize on Galio's everything. He's got an ability that he can just walk into position to cut off his escape. If he even taunts, Urgot's W will still work like it's supposed to. And in his Q battle between Q poke, Urgot's is only slightly better because it adds an extra slow factor, which makes it easier for Urgot to get better on the capitalization. Of course, Galio's damage is really solid and also very good, but I think Urgot just has that extra edge and just has the better damage.
Yeah, I think in lane you're definitely right. Galio is considered a lane bully in most matchups, but into this matchup he definitely loses. Of course, I don't think you're really picking Galio to lane bully, because there's just other better lane bully champions. I think you're more taking it for the Scion Galio ultimates.
Oh yes, definitely. And honestly, it is a interesting decision because Scion actually does beat Urgot, so they wanted to take the loot. They wanted to take the more difficult lane, so to let Galio basically do his own farming deal. They're hoping Tigger is solid enough at Galio that Urgot, despite being the stronger champion, to have.
Yeah, but it's not too hard. You lose lane, win game if you're pressing R on the right champion.
Yeah. Corki and Talon. Talon and Corki. I don't know. That looks like Talon's going to be able to jump right onto Shaquin and just make some big burst damage happen.
Yeah, we've seen how good Sail can be on Talon early game. He's not afraid to go for those aggressive trades. Even if he doesn't necessarily always win them, he'll still take them. I'm not even thinking about that. I was thinking about the Scion ulti and the Galio ulti. But if Talon could get a good pick on the G...
Hello? Hello? Are you here? Hello? I guess it's just me then. Alright, well, Rengar has mysteriously vanished mid-sentence. Unfortunate. I thought there might have been an error on my part, but I guess it seems to be okay from what I'm looking at. While we are still waiting for the matchup here, it is a bit of a different strategy of an all-in. Their all-in is a little bit more slower than their dashes that they used before. Now it's a little bit more on getting in your face for Rawr and Frosty Esports here. Definitely playing the poke game, playing the distance game, waiting for their gap close when it's ready, and get that ultimate Taric right on them and make that play happen. By the way, want to say another interesting thing that is extremely powerful and honestly very game-changing, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment while we wait to see where Rengar is. I hope he's going to come back. I don't know if he knows he's muted or not. What do we got here? Let me see. We have Hextech Scion skin for Doki. He's going with the spell book. Does seem to be a pretty good choice for him. He didn't really change his summoners last time. Certainly going to keep it this time too. Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Discord updates are getting out of hand. Pushed me right out of it.
Wow. Unlucky, man. Unlucky. Kind of wish the updates would be a little bit more obvious than just taking you out, you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
Well, back to what we were doing here. Looks like Urgot's going with one of my personal favorite type of directions.
You called it.
Going with the Comet strategy against the Galio Aftershock. And Kane got the Electrocute against Doki, who is going with a Summoner book, which honestly he didn't even really use. Like, he didn't use last time. Which is kind of... Still don't understand that strategy. If he doesn't use it, well, what's the point of even having the switch?
Maybe just feels comfortable on it. Plays a lot of solo games with it, I know that. I don't know, it can always be a good late game. I don't know why it was necessarily better than others. But when you're playing Silent Jungle, I don't think you can really utilize many of the other summoner spells, so at that point, why not?
Uh-huh. I see.
Like, if you're playing top lane, it'd be like obvious, like, oh, this dude's running Unsealed Spellbook, this dude's trolling. Like, he's not being a lane bully, he's not taking, like, Aftershock for all in. But when you're playing jungle, I think it's a little bit easier to get away with Unsealed Spellbook. Alright, what was the last thing you heard before IDC?
Apparently music.
Music. Alright, unlucky.
I left the music on. That's why I'm unlucky.
Alright, I was talking about the Scion Reflex. Of course, the audience probably didn't hear that because of the music. But with the Talon all in, we know he likes to trade early. As soon as he hits 6, if he can get to the back line, that's a free Galio into the back line. Because Talon is literally all in and all out. Solo Ross knows he's there too.
Yep, and they're basically just kind of edging it out, and it looks like Murd's going to try to go right in here. He gets the Q to land, but that's a lot of health percentage damage.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
Doki's really low. The last auto necessary does come through. Murd gets the first blood, and that might be a longsword. That's a free longsword, and he will be able to make it back in time, too, after that. So that is just Doki giving away a kill this time.
They were 5-pointing. He didn't need to be pushed up into that bush. All he had to do was stand right where he got killed at. To prevent that happening right there.
And also, personally, as a Scion main, big mistake starting the Q first. He doesn't get his W passive proc right away. He started Q. Honestly, bit of a big mistake on my piece. I think it is way better to start W because you could just get your health passive to start working right away, and it gets you more health much better. Starting Q is essentially less effective and less efficient. Even though you do better damage, even though the damage is basically good because of the knock-up, but the W does more damage than otherwise. Reflex Digger looking for some trouble here because he found Solo. Solo is going to jump over and avoid the Galio. Well, we'll be missing out on some farm because he had to go search it. Meanwhile, Scion looking for his own invade here as he's got a lot of free time for it.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Reflex Digger. I don't know if it was necessarily worth the roam down there because Scion isn't going to go and help him out with his red buff. Ooh, flashes.
Ooh, he really wanted that. I think that's exactly why he got him. Oh, not a real doctor. Seems to be searching for some trouble here. Doki will go for the blast cone, misses his red buff opportunity entirely.
So unfortunate for both junglers this game.
Yep. Oh, that longsword damage is really coming through, and Reflex is on the defensive. He has no protection at all. And one farm, yes.
Yeah, definitely shouldn't have gone down there to help him. Should have just stayed with his XP. Maybe he was scared of a dive, but I don't know if that was exactly warranted. Should have just taken the XP.
Well, now Mordekaiser has a longsword advantage against Reflex, who has no armor protection at all. And all the damage
did he start?
that
Corrupting?
Yep, he started corrupting.
Don't know about that. Don't know if that was the smartest choice.
Mordekaiser getting those auto attacks in. Reflex still extremely in a bad spot here. If that's enough damage, I'd say Mordekaiser goes for the flash E, gets the play.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, okay, good. Well, I'm glad we have the same mentality.
She's just about to say it and you spit it out.
Yep.
You need to really watch out.
Well, I don't
Ball
think
trading.
Now, he doesn't know where Scion Jungle is at this point, so I think taking the risk now is no longer the case, but he can keep that pressure working pretty well for now. Ooh,
walks back into it.
He really wants to get him as low as possible. This is once again another situation where he's forcing him under a tough spot.
Yeah, kind of needs a snowball really, especially on Talon. Because if
Urgot's
you get
plan
behind
to
on
go
that
for the
champion,
ward on that bush has now revealed to Urgot that he is near that lower half of the camp. Scion below half health now, and is now going for a search party as he's looking for any camps to steal. He uses it to reveal that there's only 2 camps gone, and now is beginning to work on the Scuttle Crab.
This Vel'Koz trading early, doing what he's supposed to do. Not really much, not a real doctor can do right now.
It's just working, and it's really solid. Oni-chan, I think, honestly, is very good at this type of supporting play. He's honestly very good at skill shots. And the Blitzcrank in the game before that definitely made it a little bit more tricky. But he just seems to be very, very good at just hitting fast skill shots against opponents.
Yep, very true. Looks like Talon and Scion are looking for an invade, maybe?
And it looks like they're heading right for Urgot. Urgot's going to instinctively back off here. I think he got a little bit of what he
calls
wanted.
from the
So
Corky.
Yep. Meanwhile, the knockup was not going to happen yet, but it looks like the damage is by both sides were apparent. Not a real doctor almost went down, survives barely though.
Drew out the flash and heal from BB Easy and got the exhaust from Johnny Chance. So not a bad game.
Oh, Doki's just playing as the new top laner now. I see. Okay, that was the plan. I was
not
like,
really sure what the plan was with the Scion pick.
So Urgot should be getting very close. And speaking of very close, Sail's gonna grab himself a Shaquin in his Happy Meal as he takes another kill. He's gonna ask for another Shaquin with his Happy Meal. Oh man, I couldn't get the joke across in time. Now it just sounds weird.
Well, nothing major happened. Pretty much what we thought.
That's
just the trading mid lane early.
That's a level 6 right now on this Urgot. So we're looking at kills to come and plays to be made. He's got himself a Phage. Has a lot of life from the biscuit and the heal, and it looks like he will not be trying to get more damage. He's trying to rush that Black Cleaver build, as we can see. Interesting, he didn't go for the boots. He wanted to have more health in that environment. Interesting decision.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's really going to be looking for roaming around plays. He's comfortable sitting in that lane and doing things. And if the Scion does try and come top, which he's been doing, they're not really going to be able to kill the Urgot.
I see what you're saying. My only point with it was I was under the impression that he was trying to get on top of Galio faster and just keep that pressure up. I thought that was the play, but that's not what's happening. Talon ran right into Solo, and it looks like he still wants him. He jumps over the wall with some parkour action, but it'll be in going through walls. That seems to be what works.
Yeah, this Talon putting an immense amount of pressure on the top side jungle.
Sail gonna go ahead and try to get the wedge onto Mordekaiser. He gets taunted. The burst is looking pretty good. He flashes out of there, and he is very thankful he got that Ruby Crystal. Because that's exactly how much health he has left now.
Great roams by Sail, just playing the champion like he knows how to play him. Clearly has experience. That was questionable stun.
Didn't land on target
Scion just taxing every single lane because he can't seem to farm his jungle.
And you can see why, because at this very moment, we have Rost stealing the blue buff from Scion here as he's about to run into
no! He's running the wrong way!
He's got nowhere to go now. The jump
Why would you flash?
And maybe he's got something. Rost is trying to squeeze out of there, walks right into the tower, and it's somehow Oni-chan gets there in time to steal the kill. He used a flash on that one. I don't know if you gotta take that if you were if it was another situation. Meanwhile, Scion and Talon now working on the Drake, which is free. All because Rost went the wrong direction.
Yeah, ran the wrong way. Maybe forgot what side he was playing. Not too sure there. Then flashed. So maybe a little bit of tilt coming in there.
Yeah, remember, when you're in a situation where you're going to die, it's good to not burn any resources when you're dying. Because if you're going to die, the strongest way to know you've done the right thing with your death is to prevent yourself from having any lost abilities or any lost ones that will be hazardous to the next play you make. BB's trying to keep that pressure on, and well-timed spell shield. Not a real doctor has really no way to make any punishment onto Sivir now, thanks to that spell shield.
Yippers.
So we'll take a look at the vision right now, and Doki's vision strategy is we're going to set up a line in every area but one specific route, which means the enemy cannot take any route but that one. And they also have a ward on it as well.
Yeah.
So there's no
it's becoming a better
way.
controller, though.
Yeah, there's no way they wouldn't see Talon coming from any other route but that one specifically. Oh, wait a second. That's some good burst. It's not enough
Flash?
to lower that health bar. He couldn't seem to get any of his shotgun knee passive on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are being very trigger-happy with their flashes. Don't know if it's 100% necessary. Maybe some of the nervousness coming through, not wanting to prove
That's
that.
a lot of health percentage damage right there from the true damage proc. Not a real doctor. If I was Urgot right now, I'd be like, pew, grind. But then again, I would be under the impression that Tarek is on the other team because Urgot is actually on the blue team.
Yeah,
So.
that is accurate.
Oopsies. Oh,
Could look for a Talon dive, but I think he's looking for mid more than anything. They may not even need Talon.
Oh, flashes to avoid the Q shot. Not a real doctor survives. Do you not know how the Vel'Koz Q works there, not a real doctor? I think somehow he thought that was going to hit him, so he stopped his own back. That was really weird.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, probably.
I mean, I don't know. That one didn't really have a chance. I don't know, my opinion, I guess. The knockup does land. It's a wombo de combo. The ult by Tarek's going to come back on him. Oh, Mr.
No
Convenience?
way they can miss, right?
Mr.
There we go.
Convenience? What are you using your ultimate there for, friend? That is the strangest ultimate I've ever seen, but here comes the cavalry. Solo Ross going in onto BB.
Yeah, that could be a
Bam!
double.
He's looking at
Oh,
it.
she's fast, though.
He's hobbling away.
She's fast!
No!
She's so fast!
No! Somehow
That's
BB
unfortunate.
gets out.
She didn't even have boots, and they both had boots. That's a real tilter right there. Not only lost his support, but didn't get anything. Oh, Talon! Going for the plays!
He's got it, but it might be his life that gets risked.
A
No,
worth.
he gets another one!
That's a worth.
That's a worth indeed.
Hit him with the question mark in all chat,
And give him a worth.
and then hit him with the worth. Scion attacks him mid lane. Nothing new.
He does
Come to
get
expect
the
this out of
entire
Doki.
camp. This leads to the understanding he has maxed out his Q instead. Honestly, I don't know about that decision personally. It's only
I don't know
good-
about the Scion decision.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about what is... Considering the record currently, I see what you're saying about the Scion decision. Is it just me, or just some people... Are some people just allowed to walk through Urgot? I feel like Urgot just
Yeah.
doesn't have any unit collision or something, because people...
Yeah, no,
seem to
I
walk
agree,
right
like-
through him.
Compared to like Alistar, where you can literally get body blocked for like 10 feet of the lane, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes when he just walks in, you cannot walk past him. But I guess Urgot's legs don't actually count as part of the hitbox because they walk right through him all the time. Like right there. I don't know how he got through. He should have been done right there. But
Yeah.
I'll walk past
he
him.
would, if he did count his legs, he'd have the biggest hitbox in League of Legends. I don't think you can get
Yeah.
any bigger other than Cho'Gath at like 20 stacks. And I don't think
yeah, I don't know
can
how
get
you
bigger
walk
than
through shotgun knees, but apparently Rita wants it that way.
that. Yeah. Which is really unlucky because Mordekaiser would have had a kill right there. I'm sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
That
I don't think they saw Kane there.
TP here by Galio. They're going for a 3-man. A TP here by Urgot on the retaliation. He has avoided all those skill shots. Here comes every single ability in the entire video game here, folks.
Sivir's still
Immediately,
alive.
he goes for one down. He needs a little bit lower. One more auto. He's not going to get it. Talon survives. Mordekaiser takes out Galio. Scion has no ultimate, has nowhere to run. Mordekaiser Murd gets another kill for the double and has 3 kills as
Ooh,
Sion trying to
passive.
get the autos. He will not get that auto in time. Murd survives it.
Did you notice the boots Sion got there? They actually went ahead and got the they call the Merc. No, not Merc. Lucidity boots, right? For the cooldown for the CDR.
Sunland's ultimate now in play, and it's the last knee shock burst that comes through, and not a real doctor will survive that. Wait, that's an isolated Taric. I think BB just realized it. He's going to try to go for the autos to kill him. The spell shield comes
clutch.
through. Clutch timing. He's going to
No,
get it,
the
but
flash!
it took too long.
Oh, wait!
Oh, no. Oh, no, Urgot. He's going to go down here, the Q. He lands. He got him.
What happened there? He like canceled 5 autos on the Sivir.
I think he pressed A. I think he had his auto attack meter on, and when the vision broke, he didn't get the vision in time. And when he realized,
Oh, you're right. That's his control. That's not his control word. That's actually Rawr's control word.
Yeah, and he knew the second if he tried to press W, he would just auto attack the ward instead because it's the closest target. Therefore, he knew he realized
I did not
that
even
it
see
was
that.
already too late to make any changes in his strategy. Sadly,
That is unfortunate.
realizing that he was about to get bursted, he goes for the Zanyas here.
Then still went down, unfortunately. The Vel'Koz was doing a lot of damage. A lot of damage.
Yep.
You could even say tons of damage.
Metrics, even.
Metrics of a lot damage. Well, back to the stalemate. No
Yeah.
towers gotten, no
Mr.
objectives
Convenient
taken.
Seems like he's got a catch. The stun has barely missed. What an
The
incredible
knockback
there.
saved him.
Oh, that lands.
No!
There's no way he's gonna miss that rocket. Dr. BB's does avoid the stun. He's
fast.
hobbling so
Run.
fast. He's hobbling with all of his might, and he's finally out of there. Somehow the hobble came through.
Whoa!
Bye-bye.
That's a
and
lot.
that is another kill to go,
That
and he's
flash.
going to take another one for his parkour stunt as he jumps right over a waterfall to get that epicness on that one. I hope that's going to get clipped. I love the fact that he jumped over a pit. That just looks cool.
Yeah.
So another objective will be taken here, and this is kind of a big misplay by Frosty. Look how much the farm difference is between Solo Rost and Doki. Yet somehow Doki, despite having even a worser objective taker, has still managed to get a better
another
objective
flash.
control.
Unfortunate. Just got caught out there. Probably could have chased that. Mordekaiser could have. Got his flash immediately. Has a slow on the queue. But you're right. The farm difference is pretty massive. No KP for Doki. Just an unlucky pick. Or play. 6-2-3 for the Talon. Buying those Mobies, finish the Yomus and the Duskblade.
Vel on the flank does have enough burst damage with Reflex to do the play that they need. So Reflex's plan, he goes with the classic anti-Urgot strategy, which is, okay, if you're going to get right on top of me, here's a Cinder. Okay, you're going to auto me to death, here's a Bramble. Okay, if you're just going to keep autoing me regardless, here's a Ninja Tabby. So this is essentially what you would get. Oh, wait, what was that? What were you? What was that all about?
My bad. I have mild Tourette's.
Okay.
Sorry.
I mean,
My bad. I tried to mute my mic. I
Wait
didn't get it fast enough there.
way to drop it on me, man.
Sorry. My bad.
I mean, I've known you for a while, and oh my goodness, Solo didn't even have a chance. Talon completely removes him from the video game. Control-Alt-Delete here, folks.
Yeah, mid animation, he just one-shot him. I think it was a Duskblade.
Oh, wait, Solo Quinn. You got Urgon on that one. Here comes the wave of damages. He gets bursted by Corki. The Taric art all late. And Doki's going to go for the wedge here. The Doctor is in, and the Doctor is out. And the burst damage by Talon came through. 10 kills. Talon is on fire.
Yeah, Sale's going to be one of the best talent players we've seen in the league. He's just an amazing talent player. He knows how to play the champion into any matchup.
Yeah, he's definitely doing fantastically, too. He's up against...
Wait,
Sion?
Sion?
Working out. Well, Doki doing something.
Wait. Is he triggered? That tilt?
I think he wanted to get more damage on the tower, but that strategy doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would only work if you had that extra damage proc, but you didn't. So, and
Yeah.
Murd gets himself killed by the Talon, misjudging how much damage that guy has. And Oni-chan's gonna get critted and bursted and killed.
Yeah. Unfortunate there.
Boy, Murd went from
Lane pushes.
4-0 to 4-3, all within the last 3 minutes, all because of misreads and misunderstanding of his kit so far. Really
Yeah.
unlucky
Maybe.
so far for him.
Definitely underestimating the team there. Looks like Saber went for the Essence Reaver, Static Shiv. Pretty strong build. Just hitting her power spike a lot earlier now because of that. Jinx, not even finished one item yet, so they need to continue to push this lead and force these fights mid lane, I think. The side lanes are constantly pushing against them. It looks like they're finally putting a slow push on the bot lane for Rawr. So they can either set to do the same thing top and set for Baron, or they can just shove down mid and look for a team fight.
Just spotted out Reflex coming top side. That's about 2 members up there. The problem is Talon kills too quickly. So no matter what timing Tarek has, Talon can just gauge it, run back, retreat, or engage anytime he wants, and he doesn't have to worry about the invulnerability. Jumps out of there, and Sail will be fine.
I love watching picks like these come into the game. I love Rawr's
Sion now back on the tower again. Is he going for the suicide plan? Looks like that's not the case. He runs past the turret, drops a ward, and is now clearing out the bottom wave, as it looks like Caden is on his way.
Since he's not doing the team fights, I wonder if he's just trying to proxy now?
I think so, trying to get the lane control. He used his ultimate to escape at that time, but by the way, I don't think Talon's gonna survive this one. Nope! Fleeing now is Reflex Digger, and Reflex will be going down from the burst.
Yeah, Kane went Shadow Assassin too, which is interesting. I was wondering if the Sion, since Sion is eventually going to out-tank him, if he was going to run into the Rost form, especially since his name is Solo Rost, but going for the Shadow Assassin, maybe just trying to focus on one-shotting Sail as fast as he's one-shotting their backline. And he has a number of targets that he can focus, that being the entire bot lane and Sail.
Interesting, I did not... Oh, wow. Oh, Doki. That's some unlucky stuff right there. Apparently those were visible the whole time.
Yeah, too close to the tower, I guess.
Yeah, both ways. That's unlucky. Good burst here by the Urgot. He's got his kill lead back ahead of his deaths. And that's honestly very good for his situation, as he will be going with a mallet. He should be having enough money for that, and I will check. Yes, he does, from what I can tell.
The Urgot? More like the Urgod. Got him.
I've seen a little bit better than that. I've done a little better than that. To be honest.
Man, credit. Come on. He won lane, and he's doing well in these late game team fights. He's trying his best.
Alright, I'll give him that. He's trying his best. Mallet on the Urgot strategy. Mallet is going to be changed in the future. A decrease in slow is going to happen, which will eventually be a big nerf for both Urgot and Gnar. I don't know how they're going to play without that item, considering that's kind of their bread and butter for their kit styles. Personally, I don't like it, which I hope they will. Hopefully, Urgot players look at towards my strategy in the future, but until then, it's the Mallet strategy.
If every Urgot player doesn't build like Army, they're trolling. He said it. I heard him say it.
Don't put me on the Daily Duo with that. Don't put me on the Daily Duo.
Hey, can I quote you, Army, please?
No.
Alright.
No.
Oh, they all getting aggressive here. Oh, wow! Still
Are they getting aggressive here? I can't tell. I feel like it's actually them overextending, with the Talon clearly overpowering the both of them. And staying alive somehow.
Yeah, I actually got away. Semi-tanky with the Black Reaver now as well.
Ooh, the taunt did get the range. Doki gets the knock-up. Urgot takes the top tower. Doki's on the run here. He's taking a lot of damage, but does survive it. Long enough to get out.
Yeah, looks like Solo Ross is going to be picking up a Black Reaver here soon, too. Let's try and match the build. Oh, pause.
We got ourselves a pause. Let's take a look at how much money they've earned, and maybe we should just take a nice chill break and enjoy a little bit of a break in time, since we've got another pause here. Well then, folks, there's your money amount. We will be right back. After the pause is concluded, we will be ready to go and talk again. See you guys soon enough. Well, we're back at it here, folks. Looks like the time has ran out, and they finally got themselves ready and back into the game real fast, real quick. Now, Talon sitting at the flank here. He's got 2 squishy targets to look at. Can he get to him in time without a flash is a problem, and it looks like he will not have that opportunity. They've just pointed him out right there, so I guess they saw him coming.
Looks like I'm going to be going for a Baron play. Drop the ult. Sign's a little low.
Even an ultimate there. Doki is getting pretty low. They don't have anyone to tank it.
Half health.
It is, but Doki, they don't like it. They're going to back off.
I saw the enemy team coming. Smart to back off there. No point in risking it and throwing the game on a fight like that. But Sion is cut out.
Yep, he's not in that fight. Mordekaiser will go down. And Talon does not get into position in time to make another catch happen.
Yeah, just the threat of his ultimate is enough to push off the enemy team. Sion, splitting bot. Jinx going there to match it. They could look for a pick here and then do Baron. He's going to pop the Youmu's. Not going to get anything out of it. Maybe look for the Baron play again.
I see that's a
down
solid...
a tank, but down on ADC.
Yep. I say that's a good idea.
I think so too. If Reflex Digger can tank, they should be able to secure it pretty fast. Sion not pressuring.
Doki's going for an ultimate at long range. He's going to try to join his friends in the nick of time, and he gets there. Engage time by all members. The Taric ultimate is up and ready. Ross takes out 1. He takes out 2. Here comes Galio on the immediate follow-up. Merge trying to get a good play here. Hits Doki instead. Triple kill. He's got a chance for a... Is that a... No. He will not be given that opportunity. Sivir just
unlucky.
confirms the kill, and that's all the members going down. And there's your ace.
They could do Baron here. Mordekaiser's tanky enough, and Corki should do enough damage at this point with his Triforce completed. And that's what they're going to do.
Yes, it is. They're working on it, trying to get every leg proc he can to get as much health percentage damage as possible.
Wait.
No,
they can do it. They can do it.
Wait a second. He's getting a little
just waiting for his
there,
W to come back up.
He will start coming back up, and bam, he takes the tower. Frosty has it. Only 3 members, though, but they have it. Sadly, if they had an actual tank, they could have afforded to wait a couple more seconds to allow both the Taric and Kayn to come up. But because Urgot's not actually a tank per se, he will be unable to, do that play.
Yeah. And even though this... Oh, wow.
Well, okay.
You may be able to one-shot my team, but I can one-shot you, says Talon. Even though the score is 18-22 in favor of Rawr, the gold lead is actually in the favor of Frosty Esports. Just through good management, they had winning lanes. They still have a farm lead in most of their lanes. Oh, but not if they keep getting picked out like this.
Ooh, he should try to take it as long as he could. Talon's damage is way too high, and there's your crit on the follow-up for the extra burst. And
there goes the gold lead.
Yep, that gold lead just all but vanished. And all because of a Talon, and that's just, communication just wasn't there and when that went down.
Yeah, you gotta watch out. He built Mobius too, so he's gonna be in almost every lane. That was an aggressive ulti.
Oh, yes it is. Yes, it very much was. He does not have a high cooldown either, so kind of hitting a couple of question marks in my opinion there.
That's one fast Kayn.
Who's the better assassin? Is it Solo or is it... Oh!
That's unlucky.
He barely makes it out of there alive, but he will die immediately after from the auto. The assassins are dead. They're starting to take a step back. He did get the catch. He did not get the spell shield. This might be the play they're looking for to get a nice triple. They take out BBs. And Doki, having no way to get out of there, ends up slowed and taken down. He is not going to participate in that 3.
Ooh, sidesteps. Unfortunate.
I think he probably danced a little bit of a... I think he danced I can't remember. Darn it. I was so close to an actual funny bit. And then I forget the name of what the dance is. And I was going to say river dance. It looks like he went river dancing instead of...
You'll get to my comedic level one day. No stress.
That's the problem. That's my grand flaw.
Yeah, looks like they're sieging mid lane, sieging bot lane. They can get both towers, I think. Oh, may even
The
pick
autos
up
came through really
Johnny
nicely
Chan.
there. That landed, but it's...
Oh, Talon's home! Or here.
Boom! Doki
That actually took a long
coming
time.
in there in the nick of time for that play. And Talon being a massive carry right now.
Built the GA rather than going more
Urgot
damage.
is now, I think, feeling a little bit worried as Talon has made his way all the way through the vision, and now he's running as far away from him as possible. For obvious reasons.
Gonna meet him there? Nope, just gonna back. Drake's gonna be up here in a few minutes. What
Frozen
kind of Drake is it?
Oh, sorry. Frozen Heart now coming on Mordekaiser here, and that kind of brings up an interesting idea. He's going for the 40% cooldown reduction. That's his intended purpose here, but Talon's not auto attack heavy. He's burst.
Yeah, maybe watching out for the
too.
Sivir too, because she's just gonna scale as well.
I think he wanted to have the 40% cooldown reduction, so he went for that, even though this team is not very auto attack heavy. Like, they are mostly ability based. So this is essentially a purchase just for the 40% cooldown. Which I kind of, it's kind of a good purchase.
Oh, okay.
For his sake.
The old beta Reno, seeing if Sion looks juicy enough.
I think he just found out where they were there. Not going to make that work out.
Didn't actually get vision of it, just threw the ability in there, so may not even know that there was 4 of them pushed it.
May not even know, man. May not even know.
Well, looks like the side of Frosty is just trying to clear their lanes, possibly looking to siege mid. They got bot lane pushing in their favor, top lane pushing in their favor. Rawr, not really sure what to do right now, just trying to look for picks and catches, which is probably the right thing to do, since I don't think they win the straight out 5v5. Because the last few they fought, they've actually lost.
This looks like
GA's completed on 2 people.
From the way this is angled, I don't think we're going to be seeing an ending anytime soon. I think this may be another 10 minutes after this one, considering both sides are having a lot of struggle with figuring out what the other person's doing to make a play. It's like, both sides are just kind of like, wait, what are they doing? I don't know. Well, what are we doing? I don't know. Well, alright, let's just keep doing things then and see what happens.
Both assassins have a GA at this point too, so that doesn't make anything easier. So even if they go in, that still might not mean the end of the game if they get caught out.
Talon going for the split. This may be where they want to make an engage happen. I say Urgot makes that engage, goes for the Sivir, goes for somebody, or gets a good stun locked down by Taric. And it is Doki that gets bursted as well. And it's a big wombo combo setup. Talon finally showed up. And here he is, as most of his team is already dead. The resurrection now happening on both sides. Both of them are resurrecting, I would say, inside the wall. If they were, they are now, because one just went down. BB's does not. He will actually go down. And Galio is going to be taken down as well. That's an ace.
They have minions. This could be a game.
That might be it. I don't think they back off here. They can win the game right here.
Yeah, they should not back off here. They should
Sion
go for it.
are the only ones going to be spawning in soon. This should be where they win. This should be the winning play here. They're going to go for it. Frosty
they need a
is
hero,
wanting
Sion,
the 2-0.
Vel'Koz player.
They want the 2-0 right now. They're willing to risk it all for it. 5 versus 2. Can Sion hold it off? Can Vel'Koz do the damage? No, they can't seem to do it. And Mr. Convenience will take the Nexus.
GG.
And a DC by BBs. Alright, well that just about how the cookie crumbles. 2-0 victory for none other than Frosty Esports. And this is a very monumentous victory for them because this actually puts Rawr down and really pushes up Frosty Esports. We will be seeing a much different standing pool going into this as the top 6 is starting to look very interesting. Very interesting going into this. Boy, where does GG Esports fall into all of this? Well, we'll certainly get to you on that statistic. I'm pretty sure recent updates have told me, the last update I checked was the opponents for GG Esports have gone MIA, and a current search around has begun in that process. That happened about around 8 p.m., so we have no idea what's going on with that. We will keep you updated.
Well, actually, Corey in the house have found a few subs through the free agents and through a few of their subs, so they actually will be going through with the game with GG Esports.
Thank you for that. You sound super delighted for the game, actually. Sound like
Yeah.
you can't wait for it, my friend. And the reason why is because you were playing in it. Now,
Yeah.
Talon, that damage was incredible, but his ability was incredible. He was out of the league, but he just couldn't seem to bring it when it mattered most. He ended up dying on the isolation as he just couldn't get back to his teammates in time, and that allowed all the burst damage necessary to take him out fast and quick, and with 5 members versus 2, well, you might as well just
Yeah.
count it at that point.
They're pretty much fighting a
One
4v5.
thing I have to say that might be something they need to talk about, and then this might be a big improvement that they might want to discuss here, is Solo Rost. He basically went up against Doki, who had a champion Scion who's terrible at objective clear, yet somehow lost miserably to him in every single objective. That is
Yeah.
honestly, I don't even know how that even happened. But it just seems like there's no communication about objective-based control, and that's kind of a serious issue that I hope that they
definitely
get addressed. Because
Because
Doki,
both these games, to continue what you said, like both those games, they were pretty much playing without a jungler. I don't want to say it was like a hard int, but it was basically a hard int from Doki both games. And so the fact that the jungler wasn't able to capitalize either game and pretty much had to rely on his team to carry, like in these team fights and win the game, is kind of very scary for the side of Frosty. Because if they're playing this mediocrely, I guess I should say, against a team that was basically fighting a 4v5, you got to start throwing up questions on what needs to fix, what needs to be changed when they start facing even harder opponents.
Nearly doubling the ward output of his opponent, Solo Rost, he did end up completely out-edging him on the vision score aspect. So interesting, honestly, very interesting. That will be the last statistic I believe we will cover for this, as I already showed my usual averages. But let me go ahead and say real fast that this is going to be the last match for these two competitors, and we'll be getting on to the next match soon enough. Oh boy, caught myself there. Whew. All right, let's talk about some standout players, shall we? As we do so, let's find out who our standout players are going to be. What do you think, man?
Well, I'm thinking of standout performances. I think of the Azir from the side of Rawr, and I think of Sale from the side of Rawr, but unfortunately, neither team, it wasn't the same mid laner, so you can't really vote for him as MVP even though they lost. When I'm thinking like bright sides for the side of Rawr, I'm thinking the ADC was kind of like low key under the radar, but did really well both games. Shay Quinn had a pretty bad early game. I think it was like 0-2 or 0-3 at one point. You can't really look there. Kane kind of got outplayed, out macroed. Mordekaiser was very solid the second game. So if I'm picking an MVP, I gotta pick the ADC because even though most of the people around him were losing like lanes, he managed to stay alive.
You're talking Mr. Convenience, of course, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Mr. Convenience. So I think even though he's a little bit under the radar, he was the most consistent, and I think that's the MVP performance for me, just because sometimes that's all you need on a team.
And you're right, honestly. A standout player by definition is a person that can be under the radar, but does do the job when it's necessary and can be a standout individual despite being under the radar. Some people do notice that. And truth be told here, I feel like you are onto something. There's just that consistency issue that was on both sides here. They just didn't seem to have their strat all well together most of the way here, but it did end up wrapping itself up in a nice pretty bow by the end. And it's Mr. Convenience here that basically capitalized the most out of everything. And at the bottom of every single pool that I look at, Mr. Convenience appears to be the guy that comes out with the standout player. So let's go ahead and get that interview with him, shall we?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring him on in, as he has earned the standout player.
What's his league name? Mr.
Convenience. Mr. Convenience.
Hello, Mr. Convenience.
Oh, hello.
Welcome.
You've won our standout player award.
Hey, what up?
That you did, man. And congratulations, by the way, for earning that. You know, your team really, your comp strategies, your team play, and everything just kind of seemed a little interesting. I gotta ask, what was the idea in game one of having every single champion have a engaged plan? Like, everyone. What was that idea all about, going all in game one?
We just wanted to dive them.
That's it.
I
That
respect
was
that.
simply it. We just wanted to dive them. Like we figured if we dive them, we're gonna, and we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That you did. They worked.
Yeah, they gave you a little bit here, they gave you a little bit there. You took a little, you took some more, and all of a sudden you had all what you needed to get that big play and that big engages that you were looking for. You know,
Yeah,
just
there was a lot of positioning errors, team fights.
yeah, and it does seem to be something of interest here. Doki definitely seems like a free kill at times. What do you think about Doki's performances in game 1 and in game 2 for his positioning situation? Like, what do you think about it?
Do I have to say anything?
You are allowed
Like
to. I did ask you.
I feel like it's really obvious.
It's really obvious.
I feel like the answer to that question is really obvious, and I should leave it at that.
Very, very nice.
Humble. Very good. Good
very
guy.
humble. Really
You got Mr.
appreciate that.
Convenience.
I don't think you could have said a better choice of words there.
This is gotcha journalism at its finest. Well handled.
So, gotta ask about your team as a whole. How do you feel about your team's performance here? The 2-0 basically most likely puts you guys right into the playoff picture, as we're already in the mid-season approach. We're just about there. We're kind of getting closer to the point where we can say, hey, we're at the mid-season. What do you think about your team's approach with this win here? Because you've just lowered the other team that was in the playoff run.
I just think we get stronger by the weeks. Every week our team's getting stronger. We're getting more synergy. We're still a rather new team. But I think we're going to sweep this, honestly.
I love the confidence. It looks pretty great. Do you have anything to add before my final question, Rengar?
Nope, that's about it. Answered everything. Very humble, good win. Very consistent throughout your games. Well played.
My final question to you is, this looks really good towards your record stat here. Do you feel personally you could have played a better game, or did this game kind of just represent a good way to solidify your team and your teamwork as a whole?
Well, the first game I personally could have played better. I positioned like shit a lot on Vayne. It was not my best performance. Overall, I'm really happy with how the team's going.
Yeah, you were against Tristana, so it's a short range versus one of the longest. So, yeah, that's kind of difficult.
Yeah, the laning was
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Convenience, the ADC of Frosty Esports. Congratulations, man. I will see you probably next time, because with how well you played in that matchup. Doors on the left. You're all set to leave.
Thank you.
All right, man. See you later. Well, that just about does it, folks, here. Let's go ahead and have a bit of a conversation about the game coming up. Looks like it will happen. I'm going to go ahead and get it set up and ready for what's going to go down here. So
AP Malphite, that's all I'm going to say. GG win, 2-0! All
right, yeah, well, anyway. See you guys around. My name is Army Overlord, and I was your camera guy and your play-by-play caster. And with me was Rengar, the color, and we thank you very much for watching. See you guys later.